Today I am now going to discuss basic problems of magnetostat and electrostat. That is the very basic problem for JEE, CSIR NET, etc. But these concepts are very important for you guys also. So let's start discussion. So first of all, we will solve a problem on magnetostat. So let's try to solve that. So first I will draw a circular arc. Okay, I give it name QTS. First of all, I draw a circular arc QTS. Now it is kept in an external magnetic field B0. This circular arc is problem number 1. So this circular arc is kept in an external magnetic field B0 as shown in the figure. So here external magnetic field symbol is such as cross. So it is kept at an external magnetic field B0. So the arc carries a current I. So this is the current direction. Arc carries a current I, and the figure is such that I am drawing the figure. Now let me draw clearly. Yeah. So the figure is such that the magnetic field is directed normal to the page, that means screen, then force acting on the arc. So first of all, I am giving the background. So first of all, I am giving you the angle here. Angle is shown in the figure, that is it is 60 degree. So first try to understand the question. What is saying in the question, that a circular arc that is naming here QTS, it is kept at an in an external magnetic field B0. Okay, as shown in the figure, the arc carries a current. Here is the current direction I. This side the arc carries a current I, and the magnetic field is directed. This is the external magnetic field, so this is directed normal to the normal and into the page. So what is the question? Force acting on the arc. So let's try to solve it. So first of all, what should I do to solve this kind of question? So step 1. So first step to solve this kind of question is applying the law F equals BIL, but here the vector quantities are there. So first draw, step 1 is draw axis and angle also, and step 2 is formula to solve. So first we have a formula, but before that we will do the step 1. Step 1, first we will draw the free body here, not free body diagram, but we will analyze the drawing. We will analyze the first axial diagram. So first try to draw the axis. Now let us consider this is X, Y, Z. So now draw that circular arc, and I have drawn a very rough figure here, and here the angle is theta. Let's the angle is theta. Okay, let's the angle is theta. Not here taking the 60 degree angle, because here force on the arc is here needed, but I will take the 60 degree angle later. But for this time being, let us consider it is theta. and sorry, let me draw properly. This is the axis, this is the circular arc, this is the circular arc. Now there is a dotted line. Let us draw the dotted line. Now that 60-degree angle we have drawn, first name the axis, that is x, y and z. Now let us consider the element of length L. So it is q t s. This is the arc. Current is flowing in this direction, that is from left to right, and what amount of current, that is I. Now let us consider a simple length element dl. Simple length element dl here, dl, and from this dl is making an angle theta. Let us consider this dl is making an angle theta. So we have done the first step. The first step is first draw the figure. We have drawn the figure. Actually means here I am trying to say that we have drawn the figure with the help of the axis, 3 Cartesian coordinate. We are taking the Cartesian coordinate. So this is x, this is y, and this is z axis. Okay, and we have taken a small length element dl. So now what is the second step? Second step is that formula. So second step means, what is the formula for force when you have been provided magnetic field? So what is the formula when you have been provided magnetic field? Arc length dl. So formula is, we have considered small length element dl. So force on that small length element will be, and current is there, I dl cross b. Yeah, this is a formula. This is the second step. So what is the second step? The second step, we have seen that the formula, we are trying to solve this problem with the first analyzing the figure, then after drawing the taking the formula of the figure. So this is this df force. This df force is for which length element? This is the circular arc, and small element dl, for small element dl, this is the df force. So we have to solve the force on the arc, total arc. So for solving total arc, what should we do? That means for solving for f, we should do integration over there. Integration, that's the thing. So now we have the figure, we have the formula. Now we can easily draw and we can easily solve. So first of all, we have the figure, and according to the figure, I am again drawing the figure because it is very important. This is x, this is y, and this is z. According to the figure, this is the arc direction here, theta. This is a rough figure I am drawing because I have some purpose to solve this problem. First of all, we have to know the direction of magnetic field B, as the current is flowing in this direction. So when the current is flowing in this direction means y-axis, positive y-axis. Here, according to the thumb rule, the direction of magnetic field will be in what direction? It is the positive x-axis, and here it will be the negative x-axis. So when the current is flowing on the y-axis. So magnetic field direction will be this side. This means into the page. This means this negative x direction. So magnetic field direction is negative x-axis. And dl means length element. Length element has same direction with what? With current. So dl is y-axis. So when we'll do F equals ideal cross B, so y cross x. So y cross x equals what? Minus z. So y cross minus x, that is equals plus z. So I'm writing it very clearly. Magnetic field direction is in which direction? Minus x direction, minus x cap. And dl direction is in which direction? Dl direction is the direction of current, that is plus y cap. So when we'll do dl cross b, so what is the force direction? Force equals ideal cross b. So force direction will be dl cross b. That means y cross minus x hat. Y cross x equals what? Minus z cap. But here minus is there from previously. So minus of minus z. This is the force direction. So force direction is z cap. So we have got the z direction, force direction. So we have only one thing to do, that we have to do that integration. So doing the integration, force equals I dl cross b, z direction here, so here z means dl cross b, bz equals what? dl and b are perpendicular to each other. Okay, dl and b means length element, y and x are perpendicular to each other. So dlb sine theta means theta 90 degree, dlb 90 degree, I dl b sine 90 degree means what? 1. But another thing to do, what component is taking here? Z component. Force direction is Z component. So bz, Z components mean what should we take here? Bz equals, we should take here according to the figure, what should we take? I'm again drawing the figure. Here theta, this is x, this is y, and this is z. B is along negative x-axis minus this means along here negative x-axis B, magnetic field. So dl cross B, when we are taking force z component, so we should take bz equals, and when theta is there, so bz equals b0 cos theta na, b0 cos theta. So here we'll do the integration. According to integration, I integration I extremely sorry, I have to write here I dl b0. So component of force along z axis will be survive, because df is in which plane? df is along the yz plane. So force along only z axis will survive. That means we are taking b0 cos theta, and this is the integration sign. Now 60 degree was the angle. Now if we divided by the axis, that means 30 degree. 30 degree means what? Minus pi by 6 to plus pi by 6 will be the limit, because 60 degree was the angle here. 60 degree was the angle, first previous angle. Let me draw here. When we are drawing, so it was the previous angle 60 degree. 60. But when this division is occurred, so this angle 30 and this total angle 30. Sorry, let me write properly. And the so both angle is 30. 30 degree, 30 degree. So here we will take the limit. These to these forces along these to these means minus 30 to plus 30. Okay, now doing the integration, so it's very clear to us. Force equals I dl b0 cos theta minus pi by 6 to plus pi by 6. Now what should be the dl? Dl is here r cos theta. If r, let r be the radius of the arc, and theta is the angle. So what we can take here, dl as r d theta, dl equals r d theta. Why? Because what we know s equals r theta. That means what? Arc equals radius into angle. So here dl is the small length element, that arc. dl is that small length element arc, and let r be the radius and small d theta be the angle. So dl equals r d theta. So d theta is here variable. So we can now do easily the integration. So according to integration, f equals I b0 r d theta we have taken. R is constant, so we are taking here outside the integration, minus pi by 6 to plus pi by 6 cos theta d theta. So after doing integration, you will get force acting on there, I b0 r. So it is the answer. So it is the force on the circular arc QTS, that is kept in an external magnetic field B0 as shown in the figure. So let's move to the second problem. Second problem of magnetostat and electrostat. So now in the second problem, we will do a very simple problem of electrostatic. Because we know in JEE or any NEET or anywhere, electrostatic problems are very important to solve. So let's start. We will do the spherical shell problem. Spherical shell problem means we are going to do, this is a problem 2. Here we will do the very basic concept here. Problem 2. Okay. So, sorry. Actually, this spherical shell problem concept is very important to know. This is A radius, this is B radius, and this is spherical shell. Outer shell containing plus Q charge and inner shell containing minus Q charge. So first of all, let's try to understand the problem. So first, understand the problem, that is this spherical shell. Outer shell is having B radius, that has outer shell has charge plus Q, and inner shell having A radius has charge minus Q. So now let's begin. What is the problem? What is the question? So the question is, let me draw. Question is, if this is the spherical shell and A is the radius here and B is the radius, this inner side, the radius, inner side, that means this is the radius A, that means R less than A. At a point R less than A, that means inner side of radius A, what is the potential? Potential at R less than A. At inner side of radius A, that means it is the B radius and it is the inner side is the A radius. Let me draw clearly that you can understand easily. First I am drawing the spherical shell. It is having B radius, then drawing the inner shell, and here I am drawing a very small radius. This is R, this is A, and this is B. Here plus Q, here minus Q, and the question is what? Question is V, potential at R less than A. So first try to solve. So for this thing you have to remember a funda. Funda means here I am trying to say you have to remember a simple thing, simple concept. First see the figure. Now I will do the things here. First of all, drawing simply A radius, B radius, plus Q, here minus Q. So for V, R less than A, when we are obtaining the potential less than A, that means when at a point R, the potential will be due to what? First, potential will be due to charge. First potential will be due to charge at the surface of A. And what amount of charge? Due to charge minus Q. Due to charge minus Q. Let me write it. First potential is due to charge minus Q at surface of radius A, and second, and the potential and the second potential will be due to charge plus Q at the surface of radius B. So here at a point R less than A, for what surface is charged, the potential will be occurred. Potential will be happening here. Potential will be occurred due to the surface where the charge is minus Q, that is the surface of radius small a. For that portion, potential will be occurred at smaller less than A, and the surface of charge plus Q, that is at a distance, the surface of radius B where the surface charge is plus Q. Due to that also potential at R less than A will be occurred. So first of all you have to see one thing. With respect to this, that means radius A shell, with respect to radius A shell, in what position the radius R is inside position, and with respect to radius B shell, that means where plus Q charge is there, so smaller radius point is also inside. So let's write this. So potential at R less than A due to radius small a, due to radius small a, where the charge is minus q, the potential will be k minus q. And what will be the radius? This is the main concept. When the point, or when the point where you are going to obtain the potential, remember the line, if the point is at such a position which is inside with respect to shell, then you have to take the constant radius. Constant radius means here for surface A, for surface of radius A, where the minus q charge is there, what is the radius? Radius is A. And with respect to surface of radius B, the position is in what position? The position is also inside with respect to surface of radius B. So there you have to also take B radius, and the charge is what? At the surface of radius B, charge is plus q. And what is the k here? K equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Let me write properly. K equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So what we can now write? We can now write V at r less than a equals k into minus q by a, as these r less than a point, these with respect to radius a inside, and with respect to radius b it is also inside. So we are taking the radius of constant, that means a and b are constant radius, so we are not taking smaller radius. That is the main concept here. That is the main concept here. So first, due to surface of radius a, k minus q by a, plus due to surface of radius b, k into q by b. So taking common kq, so potential at distance r less than a is 1 by b minus 1 by a. This is the answer, where k is what? K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So now let's move on the third problem. Let's move to the third problem. So in the third problem, we will do a magnetostat question again. So third problem. In this problem, we will do Ampere's law application. Yeah. So let's start doing it. The third problem here, hollow cylindrical conductor. We will draw hollow cylindrical conductor. Here, hollow cylindrical conductor. This is also radius A. Actually, we are drawing the upper portion. We are drawing from the upper portion. So, and this is radius B. So this figure is showing a hollow cylindrical conductor of one is radii A, another is radii B, and radii B, and among a current I flows region between the two cylinders. That means current I is flowing between radius A and B. So what we have to obtain? The thing that we have to obtain is, let's write properly. The thing we have to obtain is magnetic field that due to current which is flowing among radius A and B, between the radius A and B, between the two cylinders. So magnetic field for A less than R less than B. So now we will solve. So this type of question is solvable by Ampere's law, Ampere's circuit law, or Ampere's law. So let's try to solve it. So first of all, step one is, what is Ampere's law? We are here to not to discuss total law. We will discuss only the mathematical portion of the Ampere's law. Mathematically, Ampere's law is B dot dl equals mu naught into I enclosed. So I can be written as J dot ds. dl is length vector, ds is area vector, and J current density. J is current density. So we will now obtain the magnetic field where? We will now obtain the magnetic field at less than R, A less than R, less than B. So first draw the figure. First we'll draw the figure. From figure, this is A, this is B, and we have to obtain the magnetic field where? A less than R, less than B. That means here, these are radius. So here at a distance or at a radius A less than R less than B, we have drawn this Gaussian surface. Yeah. So what is dl here? For radius R, dl is what? For this radius R, dl is total integration of dl is, what will be that? 2 pi r. And what is the Ampere's law? B dot dl equals mu naught into I enclosed. Among this radius r, between this radius r, which is A less than R less than B, what will be the current? That's the main important thing. That is the main important thing. Because B dot dl equals mu naught into I enclosed. And we know that I is enclosed among A and B. So what is the amount of I enclosed here? So total area among B and A, what is that? First, total area among B and A is, actually we know, pi r square, and among B and A total area is pi b square minus a square. And when the Gaussian surface of radius r is starting there, so we can say magnetic field, we can say that area which is at a distance r and the position A less than R less than B, that area portion is pi r square minus a square. So what we can write as I enclosed? So to write I enclosed, we know we have to solve this equation. In the pi b square minus a square area, I current is there. So unit area, I is written as such type, I by pi b square minus a square is there. So in the unit area this amount of current is there, but we have to obtain magnetic field for what radius? A less than R less than B. For there, what is the area? For their area is pi into r square minus a square. So for pi into r square minus s square, what is the current? Current will be I into I enclosed. I enclosed equals pi into r square minus s square by pi into b square minus a square. So now apply the Ampere's law. B dot dl equals mu naught into I enclosed. B into here I am taking mod because when we are breaking the dot product, then it's not remaining as vector after breaking the dot product. So we are taking the magnitude value now. So B 2 pi r and I enclosed is mu naught into I into pi r square minus a square by pi b square minus a square. So mu naught into, so B will be what? B will be B equals mu naught into I b square minus a square 2 pi r square minus a square by r. So I'm writing the answer properly. So magnetic field at A less than R less than B, mu naught I by b square minus a square into 2 pi into r square minus a square by r. That's the answer. So thanks for today. I will discuss more and more question on JEE and NET and CSIR net also, CSIR net GATE for all in my next videos. So for till then, bye. See you all. Thank you.